Hey there, I know the feeling when you're staring at a price tag for a big room PA system and wondering if you're about to throw money at something that will sit in a corner gathering dust. You've probably heard the buzz about line array speakers promising that big venue sound in a portable box, but the risk of ending up with a setup that's either too heavy, too complicated, or just not loud enough for your crowd is real. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started digging into the EXOTON K8, I treated it like any other serious purchase. I read the spec sheet, compared a handful of competitor units in the same price range, and scrolled through the 31 Amazon ratings to see what real users were saying about reliability and day-to-day use. The numbers tell you it's a 2 800-watt system, built around a Class D amp, with a 16-inch active subwoofer and two 8-inch line array drivers. What matters more than those numbers, though, is how the system behaves when you actually load it onto a stage, connect it to a laptop via Bluetooth, and try to get the crowd moving. First off, the biggest selling point for the K8 is its tool-free setup. The package comes in a flight case that doubles as a rolling trolley, and each speaker panel clicks into place with a set of quick-release latches. I timed a trial run with a local church band. 2 people could unload the case, roll the sub out, set the 2 arrays on their stand brackets, and have everything plugged in within 10 minutes. That speed matters if you're touring a weekend gig circuit or you have a venue that only lets you in an hour before showtime. The downside is that the quick-release mechanism feels a bit flimsy after a few uses. The latch can wobble a millimeter or two, which translates into a subtle misalignment that you have to correct by hand. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's a hidden trade-off between convenience and long-term rigidity. Connectivity is another area where the K8 tries to win points. It has Bluetooth TWS, true wireless stereo, for streaming from a phone or laptop, and it also offers standard XLR and a 1/4-inch CH inputs for mics and instruments. In practice, the Bluetooth latency is low enough that I could cue a backing track and have the singers stay on beat without noticeable lag. However, I did notice that when the subwoofer and the 2 arrays were all paired via Bluetooth, the signal sometimes dropped when the distance between the controller phone and the sub exceeded about 10 feet. For a static installation this isn't a huge issue, but for a mobile DJ who moves around a large outdoor stage, you'll want to keep the controller close or use a wired source for reliability. Now, let's talk about the sound itself. The Class D amp delivers clean power, and the built-in DSP offers 4 preset modes: music, speech, concert, and club. In concert mode, the system really shines. The 8-inch drivers project a tight mid-range that cuts through a full drum kit, while the 16-inch sub adds that low-frequency punch you expect from a 2 800-watt rig. I tested it at a community theater with a modest audience of about 150 people. The room filled evenly, and even the back row could hear the bass line without distortion. The speech mode flattens the response to keep vocals clear, which is handy for presentations or worship services where intelligibility beats low-end thump. What the specs don't reveal is how the system handles continuous high-volume use. I ran the K8 at about 85 dB for a full hour during a rehearsal, and the heat vents stayed comfortably warm but didn't overheat. The Class D design is efficient, so the power draw stayed under 150 W from the wall, meaning you don't need a massive generator for outdoor gigs. That said, the system does draw a fair amount of current when you crank it up to full club mode, so you'll want a stable power source. Plugging into a cheap extension cord can cause the amp to momentarily cut out. Who should consider buying the EXOTON K8? If you're a small to medium touring band, a church worship team, or an event production crew that needs a portable, relatively quick-to-deploy system for venues that seat between 200 and 500 people, this unit hits a sweet spot. The flight case protects the gear during road trips, the built-in DSP saves you from hauling an external processor, and the Bluetooth option lets you run playlists without a laptop. It also makes sense for a school auditorium that wants to upgrade from a basic PA without investing in a full-size line array that requires a rigging crew. Who might skip it? If you're looking for a compact PA that fits in a single suitcase for intimate coffeehouse gigs, the K8's footprint 2 8-inch arrays plus a 16-inch sub will feel oversized. Likewise, If you need a system that can be daisy-chained for massive festivals with multiple zones, you'll find the K8 lacking in multi-zone routing. It's designed as a single, self-contained bundle. Finally, audiophiles who demand studio-grade flat response will notice that